Hey, what's up guys? This is Maverick here with episode 8 of Kaguya-sama. So, we just came off of fantastic episode 7, absolutely hilarious. I loved how they parodied the shoujo genre. Indeed, it was probably super popular around the webs as well. Lots of people loved it. Personally though, after thinking about it a little bit more, I think I still prefer the fake confession episode a tiny bit more, just because of the genius of the comedic timing on that episode. But definitely last one was very high up there as well. So, for this one, not really knowing what to expect, I would have loved if they went a little bit deeper with the parody here, but I don't think that's going to be the case. They're probably going to move on to some other topics. Personally, I am kind of looking forward to see how Miko integrates with the current student council. Even though last episode we did have a few jokes at her expense, it wasn't, she's somewhat just there, right? We haven't really seen what her position is in the current student council, the dynamics and whatnot. So I hope that is something we will explore soon. In any case, let's get the show on the road. Alright, so the anime started with the opening this time. I skipped it. Let's begin in the episode in 3, 2, 1, play. Ah. There we go. I think so. Commit unspeakable. Hypocrite! Kaguya. Oh my god. Yeah, give it to her, Ishigami. Well, I guess Fujiwara is the only one who can take on her. Oh? Snacks? Oh. Can Ino hold it? Oh. Mario Kart. As if anyone would adhere to these rules. Is Kaguya actually interested in this? What are they doing? Wait, was the student council always like this? I kind of feel like they're they're being even more. I love how they're playing a Switch as well. Oh? Oh? Well, Sasuga Fujiwara. Are we gonna be able to see it? Ishika. Oh. Ishigami, you're about to get killed! Ah, that was good timing. Alright. Oh, what? What? 3 hours? Okay, so it's the cliche being locked in a warehouse setting. How are they gonna subvert this trope? Doesn't particularly seem like it's locked. uh, I love how the work is not being very upfront of it as well, right? It's such a cliche. Don't have your phones? What are you? Oh, this is definitely different. Oh, they each think it's the other one. Okay, I like where this is going already. I wonder if it's really just an accident or did, well, if it really was a pure misunderstanding between these two, that would be quite new. A third possibility is, oh. I was thinking maybe it might be the doing of like Hayasaka or something, who decided to take matters in her own hands. Oh my god. This background music as well. Oh. 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 Oh, they actually managed to, Why would you be look out for? It's literally a pad meant for falling down on. Oh my god. Alright. How are we going to stop this? Mika. Yet another misunderstanding. thought that was white hair. Huh? What? Really? Okay. Now we... Shinomiya's family doctor. She perhaps talking about oh, I see. You're in love. I wonder if Hayasaka is gonna say anything. She can. Just accept it, Kaguya. Look at Hayasaka back there. Look at her. Oh my god. I can totally get Hayasaka. This is so cringy. That's so funny at the same time. Hayasaka loses. Is she gonna collapse again? Oh, she's accepting it. Okay. Ayotake. Huh. Could it be that the doctor's former love was actually her mother? Well. Anyways, see you guys after this. Alrighty, so that's episode 8 in the bag, and indeed we do start with sort of trying to integrate Miko a little bit better into the student council, right? Now, personally, I would have thought this would actually happen first. I think that makes much more sense, but fine. If they want to put it here, they put it here. No, Ishigami is just being Ishigami as usual. I really love his sort of deadpan delivery of the truth, you know, bring down the hammer and whatnot. He actually reminds me a lot of Hayasaka, so I think that's probably why I like Ishigami that much. Except Hayasaka obviously has this sort of aura to her, whereas Ishigami is more of the guy that everybody picks on, right? So unfortunately there is this difference here, but I feel like at the root of it, you know, the things that they say and whatnot are very, very similar. Well, even though they did try to sort of re-educate Miko in a way, certainly didn't really help much in terms of her showing up and ruining the situation for everyone, as we can see immediately in the warehouse chapter and whatnot. By the way, I do hope that this I understand it's a running gag, and of course it's hilarious the first 1 or 2 times, but I do hope that it doesn't become too much of a recurring gag, or if they are going to continue using it, I hope it eventually applies to other people as well, rather than just Kaguya and Shiogane, because that's gonna get old real quick, and indeed, I'm sure that that's also an easy way to also draw a lot of hate, right? People will be like, "Oh, Miko, stop ruining the situation," and so on and so forth. It's common in a lot of other rom-coms as well, whenever there's these type of characters, and especially in this case where it's not even a harem, so using this kind of character to maintain the balance, make sure not any single girl is advancing too far ahead of the others, it's even more frustrating. So I do hope that they eventually switch it up a little bit. Speaking of the warehouse episode, so I gotta give the anime, or actually I think I should say manga, the work. I'm giving the work full credit here because they honestly did something very, very original. The topic itself, right? The warehouse scene, the warehouse event. We've seen it tons of times in all sorts of rom-coms, right? So it is a staple by now. You have to put it in, even though it's old and cliche. People like to watch it, even if they just went with a simple, normal warehouse sort of event. I'm sure that people will eat it up as well. But to their credit, they actually did something completely original here. I've never seen another work where the two actually thought the other side was the one who set up the whole situation up. I've seen works where maybe one side thought the other side was setting the situation up, but never where two were accusing or thinking that each other was doing something like that. So it turned out to be an entirely new and original dynamic here, and I kind of wish that they went a little bit further with this, because it's so rare, right? I've never seen it before, so I wanted more development. I wanted more story development just based on this premise, and I feel like this would have been a great opportunity to actually expand the event a little bit further, just to see how, what could happen under this kind of circumstance, under this kind of premise. But sadly, they decide to just the author decided to just end it at the usual length and whatnot, with, of course, a pretty foreseeable conclusion as well. I mean, if it wasn't Miko that barged in, it would probably be Hayasaka or something like that, or I don't know, maybe Ishigami, something like that. But anyways, no, that I do kind of wish that they would have went further, but that is just wishes after all. I mean, we're already far past that point in the manga and whatnot. But as I said, full points to them, full credit to them for actually making something original out of a very overused cliche. And of course, the last one, with the heart attack because of being lovesick kind of situation. Well, what can I say, right? I will say there were two things that got the most laughs on me, and I'm not really sure which one I enjoy more. Is it actually Hayasaka dying of secondhand embarrassment because she's just too embarrassed that Kaguya is so pure to be getting into this kind of situation just because she loves Shiogane so much. Now that's one thing. The other thing, and the other thing that I really really love is the fact where I think what was it? One of the nurses had a quote where kids these days call it tsundere, right? Now I love meta references. I love breaking the fourth wall. I'm not sure which one is more funny to me. They're both equally awesome. And yeah, really not that much else to talk about the situation, right? I'm glad that Kaguya at least came to the realization and finally admitted to this as much at the very end here, right? I thought she would continue to be absolutely stubborn and would not accept it at all. But hey, in the end, she actually did accept this situation. And as we all know, acceptance is the first step to solving the problem. And I guess one last thing, which I was talking about, was in regards to the doctor, right? So, literally, okay. So initially, with the sort of foreshadowing that was going on, the original thing I was thinking of was actually maybe the doctor had treated Kaguya's mother before, and maybe her mother had actually exhibited some of the same sort of symptoms and situations. So due to the Shinomiya family rules and whatnot, well, actually, that doesn't really make sense because the mother would probably be going into the Shinomiya family, right? I'm sure that they are still. Yeah, now that I think of it, it doesn't really make sense, but that was what I was originally going for, right? So the doctor would have seen the same sort of symptoms, and the reason why he said what goes around comes around was actually because knowing the Shinomiya house rules and knowing how the Shinomiya family is like, once one of their members actually falls in love, they get into this kind of situation, right? That was what originally I was thinking was going to happen, but obviously not, because the doctor said this is the first time he's seen this sort of situation. So the second sort of thing that went through my mind was actually during the scene where he was like, "Oh, I've also experienced the same thing with my first love and whatnot." And then at the very end there, with looking up at the moon and saying, your daughter has grown up fine and whatnot. I actually thought maybe the doctor's first love was actually Kaguya's mother, and then due to circumstances here and there, they needed to separate. So it was a bittersweet memory, bittersweet love and whatnot. But then I went back and looked at it a little bit more. The name that the doctor was saying at the very end there was Nayotake. Right, and he actually called that person Nayotake-kun. So Nayotake, I think, is more of a masculine name, and indeed, kun is typically used for guys. And it could be used for girls as well, but definitely not an honorary not an honorific that you use with your lover, right? So with your female lover. So actually, I think maybe Nayotake-kun is Kaguya's father. Um, I don't know, and not to mention, I don't really even think it's all that important. It might just be some trivial fluff and whatnot, right? So I guess at the end of the day, it didn't really matter. So that's it for this episode. Once again, a great episode, tons of laughs as well. As always, right? I'm sure that we all come into Kaguya-sama expecting to have great laughs. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys next week as well. Stay tuned, and bye bye.